Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is the Riptide Radio 802 Next Gen Cup Series at their penultimate race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll have to see how things shake on up right now. Practice wrapping on up. Christian Delgado with the quick time in practice. We'll see if he can do it again here in qualifying. As at the moment we have 13 cars on the premise ready to do battle, and here in qualifying, just like always, going to be the same format we've had all season long. That will be 5 minutes to take a time. Will be the best of your two times, and from that we will set the starting order, as well as always some cool stuff to be had this season. Leaf Guard coming on board to sponsor the pole award, so a big shout out to Leaf Guard and all they do. Here we go. We take a look here at the 97. This is Jeff Pogo here. Gonna give old iRacing a quick refresh here. Make sure we got the right scheme on Pogo's car, just in case having throwback week last week. Want to make sure all the drivers had a chance to change paint schemes if they needed it. But it looks like Jeff Pogo rocking the Tide ride once again here. So Pogo comes in into tonight our points leader. He comes in with a 37-point advantage over Johnny Barker. And pretty much Jeff Pogo just needs to start this race. He'll look pretty sporty, but would love a good run to end things on off, because anything can happen next week at Phoenix, a season finale. And if we get a lot of cars there, you know, that could definitely shake things on up. But here Pogo would love to start out front, have things go his way. Last week drove all the way from the back of the field to the front, but then stayed out on old tires in a green-white checkered, and was not the right call. So Pogo looking for vengeance. Lap number 1 in for the 97. Only going to be good enough for a 31-2-1. That puts him P number 6 here as time's coming in quickly. Right now, Rob Lowell with the quick time. Rob currently in his career has 11 pole positions. Might make it 12 here tonight. We'll have to see. Still a lot of cars yet to take a time here, as we have 9 of, I think now we're up to 13 cars, so 9 of 13 to take a time. Cody Meadows goes quick time, but Rob Lowell answers back. A 30.48 gonna tie Pogo, but Rob Lowell just a 100th faster. But now Jason Wiley in the 13 machine goes quick time, so an awesome lap from the 13 machine. As we take a look here, Stephen Holmes, lap number 1 in the books. Good enough only for P number 11, so the 90 machine putting all his eggs into this basket for lap number 2. We'll watch it live, see what happens. But right now, Jason Wiley with the quick time. You love to see that. Wiley has no poles this season. Would be the 13 machine's first pole of the season. And I have to double check here, looking at our list here. And I think Wiley has never had a pole position here with the Riptide Radio 802 boys. So this would be a big moment for Wiley, able to notch that first pole. So it looks like one other car on track. Oh, gonna smack the wall coming to green. Brandon Guerin in the 1 machine. Holmes was able to jump up to P number 5 with a 30.55. So I'll at least at the moment put Holmes in a top 5 starting spot, but it looks like maybe just one more car to take a time, as Brandon Guerin gonna hit the reset button and try it again here. As yeah, an awesome lap by Jason Wiley. So far, he is the time to beat, just beating out Lowell and Pogo, as Brandon Guerin back up to speed. Also, Frank Zingen in the 62 taken onto the track as well. So 2 cars still yet to take a time. Right now it's Wiley, Lowell, Pogo, Delgado, and Holmes, the top 5. But here we go. Brandon Guerin crosses the stripe. The 1 car is on the clock. And he's going to be very close to get both times in. Hit the stripe right about 4 minutes into the session. So as you guys can see on the left side of our screens, 30-second a lap time. I should say 30 seconds each lap. So it's going to be very close to get both laps in, because it definitely seems like the second lap is the fast lap. So here we go. Brandon Guerin across the stripe, lap number 1. We'll put him P12 with a 30.94, as we saw a very similar lap from Holmes. Then, of course, that big jump in lap number 2. So we'll see the same thing out of the number 1 machine. Zingen lap number 1, a good enough for a 30.79. Just puts him out of the top 10. Speaking about top 10, Johnny Barker deep in the field here tonight. Must have had an issue, but Guerin not going to get the lap number 2. So, wow. But that will bring us over to Jason Wiley here. Watching those guys try and see if they could do a second lap. Couldn't make it. But a big shout out to Jason Wiley on his first career pole. He will be leading the field to green in that 13 machine. And I tell you what, walking away with some bragging rights, a little bit of cash in his pocket, as Jason Wiley walking away with the Leaf Guard Pole Award. Want to, of course, give a big shout out to Leaf Guard, once again coming on board and doing the pole award here, and always definitely very, very cool. So let's head on down trackside and run through the rest of tonight's starting order here to kick things on off. But once again, big shout out to Jason Wiley walking away with his first pole award. And of course, he'll be leading us to green in the 13 machine. To his outside, starting P number 2 will be the 21 GStone machine. That is Rob Lowe. And looks like actually he's got the other alternate scheme on. So Rob Lowe, of course, with the Gardners trading post, of course, with GStone trading post, all that good stuff. But yeah, rocking that white Gardners trading post 21 machine. Then we head to row number 2, starting on the inside. That will be our points leader here coming into tonight. It is the 97 in the Tide Ride of Jeff Pogo. To his outside, rolling off P number 4 in the 31, Christian Delgado. He comes into tonight sitting 3rd in points, but about 17 points back from our 2nd in points position driver. We'll find out who that is in just one moment here as we head to our top 5 here. Stephen Holmes gonna snatch that spot for P number 5 in the number 90 machine. Stephen Holmes rolling off 5th. 6th, and how about this effort here, folks? Almost a top 5 start for the number 30 machine of Ariba Caton. And I tell you what, you love to see that here. Cody Meadows in the number 3 will roll off 7th. 8th, going to the 42 machine, that is Dustin Coggin. Eli Raposa in the 46 machine will roll off 9th. And then 2nd in points, Johnny Barker in the 6 car, rolling off fairly deep in the field, back in 10th. Starting in 11th will be the 62, that is Frank Zingen. And then in 12th, it is the 58, that is Justin Branham. Brandon Guerin in the number 1 will roll off 13th. And then starting shotgun on the field here tonight is the 81 of Dan Dill. So here we go, folks. 14 cars here ended up making the show, and we get ready to rock and roll. And rolling we'll be doing, because we are at Las Vegas for the High Roller 225, 160 laps. Who will pay off in the gamble? We saw a big gamble last week. Pogo coming out of the short side of that. Will we see something like that happen here tonight? 160 laps, anything could happen, but here we go. I know one thing's happening. iRacing Pace Car gets down on pit road, and now Jason Wiley leads the field into the restart zone. Here we go. We are green flag racing for the penultimate race of season number 5. Wow, Wiley shot out of a cannon. He is gone out in front of the field. Side by side for second here. Low way up the racetrack here. we'll lose a handful of spots, maybe more. Not sure if the 21 machine having an issue or what is the plan here, but we'll drop from 2nd to 8th in just one corner. Gonna continue to drop spots, so maybe Rob Lowell knowing something, keeping something in his back pocket, but way off the pace to start the race here tonight. So it is Wiley, Pogo, Delgado, Holmes, and now Cody Meadows quickly up into the top 5. Everyone pretty much just jockeying for their initial positions, trying to figure out where they want to be out on track here. Only side-by-side battle here further towards the back here as Frank Zingen gets into the top 10 here right in front of Johnny Barker in the 6th. And Justin Brannahan and Brandon Guerin side-by-side here going into turn number 1 once again. Brannahan up top in the 58 machine. Down low is the 1 of Guerin. Looks like that battle will kind of come to a close as Branham sets his sights to the outside of the 6 of Johnny Barker. Looks like he will be able to get that spot probably by the time they get off turn number 2 here. As you can see, way off in the distance here, Jason Wiley on his own island, about a second in front of Jeff Pogo, and then right behind him, a little side-by-side race in action as Stephen Holmes tries to explore the second lane, see what's up there here at Las Vegas. Here in 1 and 2, it's definitely all about preference. There's some really bad bumps in the middle of 1 and 2, kind of where that dark area is on the racetrack. You don't want to be there too long for, in these race cars at least, because they can get all sorts of out of shape, you know, lose the front end, then lose the back end. And at these speeds and these next-gen cars with no side force, you know, you lose that back end, you get one quick shot at saving that race car. Then it's pretty much lock it down and hope that no one hits you. But 1 and 2, multi-groove lane, either running right down there at the bottom side to about a car length off the bottom, or else you're really kind of racing up towards the middle of the track and all the way to the top. But here in 3 and 4, you'll see a much more bottom side dominant. As we see Dustin Coggin, a man on a mission to start the race here tonight. Biggest mover in the first 7 laps, up 4 positions. So this 42 machine trying to get to some of that clean air. The question is, will he burn up his stuff? And that time by, we saw kind of a flash by of it. But Jeff Pogo already searching lanes out here. Ran the very top side in 1 and 2. And as these tires go away, we'll see more and more cars move up that way to try and keep momentum at Las Vegas here. Coggin here in the 42 machine going around the long way here up top, and so far making it work up into the podium spots here as he'll clear Delgado off turn number 2. So Coggin, a man on a mission to start the race here tonight, looking very sporty. The question is, can he keep this pace? And real quick, as these cars go through 1 and 2, hopefully we'll see it again, but last couple times Jeff Pogo ran the outside. We'll see if he does it again. Yes, he will. So that's one of those many lanes we can see down in 1 and 2, all the way against the fence here. We'll lose a little bit of time compared to at least these new tires because it's such a long way around. But like I mentioned before here, folks, as the race goes on, these tires start wearing on out. The cars don't turn as good. One place you can go where you have to put less wheel in the car, of course, is further and further up the track. So once again, Pogo up top. Coggin kind of a late arc line, enters kind of the middle, then drives that car down low to that inside white line and making it work very well up to now the back bumper, at least a car length off it, of our second place driver of Pogo. Further on back, Stephen Holmes, Cody Meadows still I should say once again side by side here, as Holmes trying to find some momentum up top, saw maybe what Coggin did, or maybe seeing what his teammates doing up in front of him of Jeff Pogo, and gonna try it on out up top as well. As right there, the pass is complete for second. Dustin Coggin up to P number 2. Can he track down Jason Wiley? We see the gap about the same as it was, 5 laps ago. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see what the pace is here. As Holmes finding some speed up top, able to get around Meadows. Now trying to get around the 31 machine of Delgado. Will do that down the backstretch. So Stephen Holmes up into P number 4 here. And last couple of times by has been one of the quickest cars on track. But these guys this season have a full tank of fuel in their cars. So they can, I don't think, make it to lap 80. It's going to be close because I'm pretty sure the fuel window is like 70, 75. I should have double checked here coming into tonight, but we're winging it up in the booth, having some fun with it. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure with my knowledge, that's about the right spot. So could be why maybe some people backing off the pace, maybe shutting off their cars, using the clutch pedal, as not everyone knows that can be done. It's definitely a handful to be doing all that, but if a race is close on fuel, it's definitely worth it to do it if it can get you that advantage or that checkered flag by the end of the night. Further on back here, Raposa to the outside of Caton. This is a battle for the 7th position here, as Raposa tries to work around the high side of the 30 machine of Caton. Raposa just going to kiss the wall there off of turn number 4, complete the pass. And that's one of the spots here on this racetrack where things start to get very, very close here, as we see drivers catching our race leader, Coggin. Closest we've seen at anyone here so far tonight, within 0.2 of a second. But here comes Jeff Pogo here in a hurry. One of the tough parts of Las Vegas is corner exit. You see a big sweeping turn, then that banking goes away quickly. So if you don't have the car positioned right, especially coming off turn number 4, that banking will go way under you. And even if you have wheel in it, it's going to take some more wheel. That either one's going to kill your tires, or if you don't do that, you're going to pound the wall, be very slow on the arrows. So it's a tough thing. You have to be really kind of patient at hitting the right speed on entry and then getting the car positioned right here. As you see Wiley up the racetrack. Oh, Wiley going to pound the wall. Wiley, our race leader, through the grass. He's going to baja it a little bit, and looks like he will be all right, able to keep that car rolling. But the 13 machine here leading the first 16 laps. Not anymore. We'll go from the lead all the way to last, back in 14th. The one good thing, though, he has a fast repair to use it. So if we get a caution, anything can happen. But he's going to be way down in the running order. You hate to see it for the 13 machine. So that'll make now a new race leader here tonight. First lead change of the night, as the 42 machine of Dustin Coggin here out in front. But he has a hungry Jeff Pogo here who's finding some momentum. And you can see the run. Pogo's getting down the backstretch here with that higher line through 1 and 2. Oh man, another car through the grass here. This time it is the 46 machine of Raposa. Looks like we'll be able to get that thing righted a little bit quicker than Wiley, but gonna lose a lot of spots, gonna tag onto the back of the field. And I was just talking about it. I didn't think we would see people clobbering the wall this hard this early, but we're already seeing that right front tire going on some of these cars here. Like I mentioned many a times, you don't have that car right, that wall will sneak up to you as that banking goes away, and it will reach out and bite you at the worst times. Battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th here as we ride on board with Meadows. Meadows has stuck right to the back bumper of Delgado for the first 20 laps. Has yet to move from there. So Meadows maybe using a little bit of draft here, getting some clean air in the corners. A smart driver in that 3 machine. But yeah, we see Holmes now losing some track position. Definitely has a little bit of scuff on the right front, so that's not helping the pace of the number 90 machine. But hopefully that car's still driving halfway decent for him. But you can see he's losing time to the top 4 here. So Coggin able to get out to some clean air, put a little bit of distance between him and Pogo, keeping it right around a half a second now. So Coggin doing what he needs to about, yeah, same pace as Pogo. Those 2 cars, some of the best on the track, but some that are even better. The 21 machine of Rob Lowell, he is on a mission. Same with the 6 of Johnny Barker. We saw Rob take it easy at the start, drop on back, and has since started picking up the pace, and he is looking very sporty. Next car's in front of him. He's already a half a second faster last time by. And we're only 23 laps into this race, so that's only going to continue to get better for the 21. As long as he doesn't get those tires hot, he'll have the tire advantage, especially if we get into a long run here. Cody Meadows here able to get around the 31 machine of Delgado. So Meadows up into the top 3 for the first time here tonight. Able to finally get some clean air here. So we'll have to see how the 3 machine does here in the clean air. With that pass, that allows Holmes to catch right back up to the 31 machine. So a lot going on here tonight. And if you're the 31 or the 6, you know, Delgado or Barker, you do not want to see Pogo get out into the race lead, get at least a bonus point for leading the lap, and you'd really hate to see him lead the most laps as, oh man, Rob Lowell a little slow on the front stretch. Did he get the wall or did he get loose? I don't think he hit the wall, but he was definitely off the pace down the front stretch. Going to try and see what happened. Oh yeah, the 21 machine big time sideways, and that was something I said he couldn't afford to do too much here, is get those tires hot. So it's all about how you put these tires to use. You know, you can build a loose car, especially off turn number 4 with that banking going away. You know, you can have it where it pushes like a dump truck if you use up that right front too much, or you can have the opposite, that banking falls away, you're into the loud pedal, all of a sudden those rear tires start to slip just a little bit, and then they all of a sudden snap under you, drive that car hard left, as we saw with the 21 machine. So a lot for these drivers to keep in mind and keep them on their toes here tonight at Vegas. Cody Meadows here able to track down Pogo and get around him here. So not sure if the 97 just had a bad lap. He had a very slow lap, almost a second off of what he needed. As Pogo sideways down the backstretch. Yeah, Pogo must have got loose off turn number 4. Got loose once again off of turn number 2, but heavy wall hit to Pogo. Wow, a heck of a save for the 97 machine, but man, he clobbered that wall. Probably one of the drivers with the most damage on their race car. You can see that right front pointed to the right here as he goes down the straightaway. So that car definitely going to be very, very much off the pace. But I know I said it before, a heck of a job by Jeff Pogo there, keeping the car against the fence. It's so easy to do, you know, try and yank it down, and then you just collect another car. So big tip of the cap there to Jeff Pogo to, 1, hang on to that race car, but 2, keep it off everyone else and keep that just to himself there. So with that, the guys that were saving big time into the top 5, Johnny Barker up into 4th, Rob Lowell into 5th here. So these guys on a mission here. Last couple times by, though, definitely better than Delgado, but kind of on pace with our race leaders. So maybe they're trying to push, or maybe just try and still keep that pace, keep these tires under them, because the 21 machine definitely found out that there definitely is a limit here. As here we go, Eli Raposa able to get some spots back. He will get around Justin Branham for 11th position. One car off the track there, I believe down the front stretch last time by. Brandon Guerin in the 1 machine having a little excursion in the infield, I believe. If not, off the track, off turn number 2. One of the two probably got loose because that right side looks pretty clean on the 1 car. So another driver here trying to find the limit. As 31 laps in the books, we'll come over at the start finish line. Dustin Coggin will click over to lap 32. I believe next time by with Coggin, if he leads that lap, I assume he would, but if he does do that, that'll put him over to pass Jason Wiley for the most laps led here so far tonight. Right behind the 6 and the 21, Jeff Pogo able to get around Stephen Holmes here for 6th. Oh man, Pogo once again sideways, and I'm sure that right front not helping the handling of that race car, especially on corner exit here. So once again, we see the 97 get big time loose, and we saw that's what caused the damage, and I assume that damage not going to help that case as this run goes on. So Pogo, if I was him, if we get to green flag pit stops, I would be one of the first, if not the first, down on pit road. Try and get some repairs done. It's a toss-up to use that fast repair, but I think with that amount of damage, we'll see how far back he drops back, but I think if he wants a shot at it, gonna have to use that fast repair. Everyone's starting to spread out more through the field here. Jason Wiley here running 14th. Then it's Dan Dill in the 8113. Justin Branham currently occupying P number 12. 11th going to Eli Raposa. Then we head up into our top 10. Just in front of Raposa. Caton in the 30 machine running 10th. 9th going to Brandon Guerin. Stephen Holmes here running in 8th in the 90 machine. Frank Zingen up in his 7th here. Zingen starting to turn up the jets. One of the fastest cars here last couple times by. So the 62 machine up in his 7th. 6th going to Jeff Pogo. Then up into our top 5. Rob Lowell in 5th. Johnny Barker in 4th. Christian Delgado now in 3rd, but heavy pressure on his back bumper. Cody Meadows in 2nd, tracking down our race leader, Dustin Coggins, still pacing the field here. Battle for 3rd here. Johnny Barker to the outside of Christian Delgado. They'll have a drag race here down the front stretch, and it's going to be pretty even by the time they get into turn number 1. Delgado with maybe just a nose advantage, but the 6 car are going to drive it in there deep. Let it wash on up the Speedway, and he should have the run down the backstretch here. And yes, just gets clear of Christian Delgado. Going to leave Delgado a lane, but able to drive it in there to that white line. And Johnny Barker up into P number 3. Also further on back, Raposa to 10th. Branham 11th. Caton dropping back to 12th here. Right in front of Barker here. Battle for the race lead. Dustin Coggin got tracked down by the 3 machine. And now Cody Meadows out in front of the field here tonight. Lead change number 3 of the night as Meadows just going to flirt with the wall there off turn number 4. But Cody Meadows, new race leader. Zingen able to track down Jeff Pogo, so that moves the 62 out of the Woods Crafts machine up into P number 6 here. So far, Zingen, the third biggest mover of the night. The other three being first, second, and third. So Johnny Barker was able to get around Delgado, but hasn't been able to put too much of a gap between him and the 31 machine. So Delgado might be just hanging on to the toe of the number 6 machine and see if they can start tracking down first and second here. As it seems like Coggin starting to lose those tires just a little bit. As old man Rob Lowell here off the pace, and oh man, down on pit road. Wow, is this a strategy call? Interesting here, as the car looks alright. Doesn't seem like any big time damage, but the 21 of Rob Lowell here down on pit road. We'll keep an eye here on the pit stop. See if yeah, right side's going up on the 21 machine. We'll see if it left side's, I would assume so as well. Yeah, left side's going on up, filling that car up. So interesting call. And yeah, I think it was definitely a strategy call, because here comes his teammate Johnny Barker down on pit road. Maybe gonna try and short pit the rest of the race here. So Barker into his stall here nicely. Gonna put both those cars one lap down here, but they'll definitely have the tire advantage, and I assume just one more stop till the end they can make it there. So maybe gonna do like a 40, then about maybe a 110er, so maybe try and get another 50 or 60 laps and then run the last 60. So maybe the inverse. Maybe we'll see some people then at lap 60 do kind of the flip of a 60, 60, 40, but the 6 and the 21 trying the 40, 60, 60 here tonight. Should be interesting. I'm excited to see it, because my short talk with some of the real guys that take it really seriously here on iRacing, it sounds like NIS and fixed stuff, you know, starting to go more towards the way of a short pit to start and then try and run everything else out from after that. So should be interesting to see, as we have a battle for second here. Delgado has tracked down the 42 machine, and Christian Delgado up into P number 2. That moves Dustin Coggin back into third. Jason Wiley, another car down on pit roads. He will find himself currently 2 laps down. Barker and Lowell both 1 lap down, and so far all 14 cars that took the green flag still out on the racetrack. And just a little update from those cars that pitted. Rob Lowell, Johnny Barker, both back out on the speedway. Both tracking about a second faster than the rest of the field here. So 40 lap newer tires for these drivers, and already making a second a lap difference here tonight. So the 62 of Zingen able to get around Jeff Pogo, but with the damage, Pogo has kind of caught the 62 here once again. So maybe Jeff Pogo in that 97 machine maybe doesn't have to use a fast repair. It seems like he's figured out the damage, how to drive this new newly designed race car. It's a little bit sideways there off turn number 2, but yeah, if he can figure out how to drive this thing and keep decent pace, maybe he doesn't have to use a fast repair and save it for a later time. As we saw the 21 machine of Rob Lowell pass them like they're standing still. That just goes to show, folks, how much these new tires are helping these guys, as battle for the race lead here off turn number 2. And Christian Delgado will make it a quick pass for the race lead. New race leader once again. Christian Delgado for the first time here tonight out in front of the field. Delgado will now make it our 4th different leader here tonight. Right behind them, the 13 of Wiley should get one of his laps back here, so that'll put him only 1 lap down, eligible for a wave round if the field comes on down. Not quite in the spot for the lucky dog yet, but still a lot of time. We see the 42 machine here on lap 48 down on pit road. Coggin with kind of an intermediate stop here, so should be interesting. A lot of different strategies coming into tonight. I love to see it, but right now, Christian Delgado out in front of the field here. Here comes Wiley to get one of those 2 laps back here to the outside of the 31. So with this here, Justin Branham, another driver here on the earlier side down on pit road. The 58 will make his first scheduled stop of the night. Frank Zingen was up into 3rd, but here comes Stephen Holmes. Holmes here figuring it out. Oh, it's Jeff Pogo, big time sideways. We try and catch it here, and we catch the end of it. And oh man, this puts a little bit of change here in the strategy as Jeff Pogo goes around here off turn number 4. And this will make it interesting. Drivers that have yet to pit will come down here. And that puts the likes of probably Wiley, Lowell, and Barker all staying out for the free pass here as we take a look here. Oh man, Pogo just loses the back end. Maybe, I think definitely got some dirty air from Zingen and Holmes. A lot of car, a lot of wake in front of him. And you can just see the amount of wheel that Pogo had in, especially with the damage. And then the back end just steps around. Like I said, folks, with these next-gen cars, it is so tough to catch a sideways race cars, especially at the speed of these intermediate tracks. So he had one shot at it, missed the shot, and we'll loop that thing on around and bring out our first caution of the night. And oh man, with that caution, that actually caught Jeff Pogo a lap down. So he will have to pit here, and no, he will stay on out. We'll try and get the wave round. So wow, not good for the 97 machine. Won't be able to even get some damage repaired or get some tires on that car. We'll see what his move is here, but we see the rest of the field down on pit road. We'll go to our pit cam here, see who wins the race off pit road, because top 8 down on pit road here for the first stops of the day. Will be 4 fresh Goodyear tires and filled up with the virtual Sunoco fuel on their cars. And Delgado, a money stop. He is the first car off pit road. That's actually Stephen Holmes. Cody Meadows loses a spot. Frank Zingen, Brandon Guerin rounding out the top 5. Dan Dill, Eli Raposa, and then Ariba Caton rounding out the cars that pitted there. So man, oh man, we got to put the cameras on the 97 machine. What does Pogo do here? Does he worry about coming in, trying to get this car in a better spot here, get the damage repaired, get 4 fresh tires on it, or does he worry about getting that lap back here? Decision time here from, and it looks like Pogo gonna stay on out with the wounded race car. So it looks like, yeah, Pogo gonna stay on out. We'll get the wave round here, put him back on the lead lap, but he will have old tires and that damaged race car. So around the pace car, Pogo will go. Same with Johnny Barker. I think Dustin Coggin as well as Jason Wiley. Looks like Rob Lowell not able to do so with where he was. So Lowell will come down and at least top it off with fuel, but I believe he'll be the only car 1 lap down here at the moment. Oh, sorry. I think Lowell was actually the lucky dog. So he comes down here on the lead lap, able to top off that car. But here we go, front row, Christian Delgado, Stephen Holmes, getting ready for the first restart of the night. Now this is where it gets really interesting. About 100 laps left, so they should be able to kind of bring this last stint in half, but no one's making it to the end. I believe I'm fuel from here on out, as here we go, iRacing pace car down on pit road. Christian Delgado leading the field back to green. We are back, green flag racing here at Vegas. Christian Delgado with a great start here. He'll lead them down into turn number 1. Meadows gets clear of Holmes. Holmes now losing quite a bit of spots, so it seems like it is very tough to restart on the outside lane here tonight. As Holmes will find an opening, but all the way back into 4th. How about this guy here, folks? With a little strategy going his way. Dan Dill up into the top 5 in the Bills Mafia number 81 machine. Dan Dill sits 5th. So definitely some movers and shakers with that timing of that caution flag. But yeah, Jeff Pogo has yet to visit pit road here. So that 97 machine gonna be at a tire disadvantage, as well as still needing some fuel in that race car. But at least at the moment, I think maybe Pogo banking on maybe a yellow flag maybe at some point before he has to come down. But that's a tall order because everyone racing very, very well at the first, 50-ish laps here tonight. As here we go, battle for the race lead. Stephen Holmes winding it up on the top side and let it fly, as he will, I think, lead that lap. So Stephen Holmes, new race leader, he's out in front. And I think by the time they get off turn number 2 here, Holmes out in front and will clear Delgado. Yes, he will. Delgado will quickly jump up, get in the draft here, but Stephen Holmes out in front here at Las Vegas as we approach the halfway point. Still about, 21 laps there, but close. We are definitely closer than where we started the race here tonight. As Holmes, Delgado, Dan Dill up into a podium spot. Cody Meadows 4th, Frank Zingen in 5th. Maybe not for long, because here comes Johnny Barker to the outside of the 62. He will get clear, so Johnny Barker now into 5th. Frank Zingen 6th. Eli Raposa 7th. 8th is Dustin Coggin. Jason Wiley 9th. And then Caden rounding out the top 10. So if there's a few guys that wanted to see that yellow, it was definitely, the likes of Eli Raposa and Jason Wiley. Both cars hitting the wall hard, both of them going through the infield and now able to get back up into the pack here. Some good hard racing through the field here so far, especially the back half of it. Further up front, looks like Dustin Coggin able to get around Eli Raposa right in front of Jason Wiley here. Now Coggin had a great run through 1 and 2, able to get around the 62 machine as well. So almost a 2-for-1 for Dustin Coggin. Hopefully he used that first run as a benchmark, what he needs to do tire-wise. But here we go, Dan Dill completes the pass for 2nd. So at the moment, Dan Dill is up 13 spots from where he started. He got the right timed yellow flag, and seems like this 81 machine on a mission in some clean air for the first time here tonight. Looks like he's using that pretty well. Going to try and run down Stephen Holmes for the race lead. We head back a little bit further on the racetrack here, taking a look just at this. You know, there's about 5 cars here, all kind of within striking distance of each other, whether we have an issue or a driver gets loose or anything like that. So keeping an eye on that here as we head high above the grandstands up into the spotter stand. As here we go, Eli Raposa to the inside of the 62. And Raposa will be able to clear. Here comes now Jason Wiley in the 13 machine. So it looks like Zingen once again going to stay on that same strategy as he was last time. Take it nice and easy, keep a decent pace, and then start turning up later in a run here. As Rob Lowell looks like he copied his first strategy here. Takes it very, very easy at the start of the run, and then continues to turn it on up as here we go, Jeff Pogo down on pit road. So 97 machine taking his first scheduled stop. Looks like does grab that fast repair, so that 97 will be up into full speed here once again, but he will come out of pits 1 lap down. Should be just 1 lap down, so interesting call. Should be able to make it to, you know, that 60, 60, and then 40 here. So staying true to that strategy as everyone still will need to come down pit road one more time. But these guys so far only about, I want to say, half a second to fall off. So Pogo will definitely have a tire advantage, but not the likes of we saw, you know, Rob Lowell or Johnny Barker have earlier in this race. Christian Delgado here tracked down once again the 81 of Dan Dill, so may try and flip-flop spots back to where they were about 20 laps ago. That time though, Dill gets a great run off turn number 2. We'll be able to put a little bit of gap here between him and the 31 machine. Delgado going for that draft down these straightaways. He's trying to catch. Maybe he could smell some blood from Dill, but he is definitely trying to put the pressure on him for sure. Johnny Barker there, a little bit of moment off turn number 4 there. Got a little bit sideways. That allows Dustin Coggin back inside the top 5 here tonight. 42 machine here. Rocking and rolling here, at least at this point in the race. As I bang my wheel there with my hand. Sorry about that there, folks. Further on back, though, battle for a top 10 run here. Justin Branham. Actually, this is a battle for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th as these cars right on top of each other here as they head down the backstretch. It is Zing and Branham, then Caden and Guerin all in a battle here. Branham only car kind of on the top side trying to find something here. This time at the stripe though. 10 laps until the cross flags are shown. And then we get into the second half of the race here. Still one more pit stop everyone has to make. First one half the field got to do it under yellow. Will we get a full round of green flag pit stops? We'll have to find out here. If we do get those green flag pit stops, first car down on pit road will be the 6th car of Johnny Barker. Last pitted on lap 41, so he's probably good till right about lap 100, 105 on the fuel for sure. As we see Branham lose the spot to Zingen, now lose the spot to Caton. Caton back up into the top 10 here tonight. As now Brandon Guerin will try and get around the 58 machine. Not quite able to have the run, but further up front, we got to head to this here, folks. Battle for the race lead. Dan Dill tracked down Stephen Holmes, and it looks like Holmes had a bit of a wiggle there off turn number 2. Dan Dill, first time leading here tonight. The 81 machine from the back to the front here. Now Christian Delgado will try his hand to get around the 90 machine. We'll go all the way to the bottom here. Looks like Holmes runs kind of the middle lane here through 1 and 2. Holmes will have the momentum, able to defend the spot here for right now. And I think Holmes won't make this pass too easy for Delgado. Dan Dill, Pogo, and Holmes all on the same team here. As old man Cody Meadows, big time sideways there off turn number 4. He will lose 4 to Coggin, but able to hang on to that race car. Heck of a save by Cody Meadows there. Yeah, going up for this battle for second. Holmes is teammates with our race leader, Dan Dill. So, like I said, folks, probably not going to make this pass the easiest for Delgado. Going to try and make his use of stuff up as, oh, Holmes loose on entry. Wow. How did Holmes hang on to that race car? You don't see cars get loose like that too often. That is definitely a driver pushing that car to the limit, driving into there hard, hoping it stick. And that time, front tire stuck. The rear said, I don't got it in me, my man. We're out of here. So Holmes with a great save there. It looks like that will drop him to 4th here as Coggin able to get around. So Dustin Coggin once again into a podium spot here. And he is looking sporty once again. Christian Delgado, of course, with that move up into 2nd here. He'll try and track down Dan Dill, but about 3/4 of a second up in front is the 81 machine. Yeah, Stephen Holmes definitely used up those tires quite a bit here. Now Cody Meadows trying to get in front of the 90. As not the greatest camera angle there through 3 and 4, kind of watching the tire barrels more than the cars on track, but down the front stretch nonetheless, Cody Meadows able to clear Holmes, as Holmes should be able to start walking back up that pace again. You know, that right rear should be cooling on off just a little bit more than it was the previous couple laps. Right behind him here, Johnny Barker under pressure from Eli Raposa. Raposa with the better tires, but he gets sideways. Same with the 21. Oh, as Rob Lowell hard into the outside wall. It looks like Frank Zingen around as well. And I think that started with Eli Raposa. You saw him get sideways, and right behind him, we caught it for a split second of cars getting out of sorts. But man, this now changes quite a bit. The person that is the most excited for this yellow, this guy right here, Jeff Pogo, gonna be the lucky dog. And Jeff Pogo back onto the lead lap here. So we'll try and see what happened here off turn number 4. But this comes in a little bit late. But yeah, you see both Lowell and Zingen out of sorts at 62. Just shoots straight down the racetrack into the right side of the 21. But yeah, man, that still doesn't even catch the sideways. Here we go. This will kind of show us the start of it here. So Raposa trying to work over Johnny Barker, just gets on the throttle a little bit too hard. That gets that car sideways on the apron. A great save by Raposa, but with that, Rob Lowell lifts. Frank Zingen does the same, and with that, that just shoots the car right down left, gets the car actually unloaded for the 62. And that's what creates caution number 2 of the day, as we see a very, very busy pit road here, as Dan Dill leads everyone but Jeff Pogo down onto pit road. So gonna be a very busy pit road. 13 of the 14 cars. Oh, as we got one car around, Dan Dill stopped on pit road here. What happened to Dan Dill? We're gonna try and see if we can catch a replay here in one moment, but we'll at least go to the end of pit road here, see who wins the race off pit road. It looks like it'll be Stephen Holmes, then Raposa. After that, it's Meadows, Coggin, Delgado. Dan Dill able to, I think, get out in 6th, but yeah, did not get into his box, so Dan Dill will come back around. But yeah, what happened to the 81 machine down on pit road? Oh, this is a little bit late than I would like to. So yeah, here we go. Dan Dill up more towards the left side of our screen here, folks. Delgado to the left, and oh man, just missed timing it. I don't think Delgado knew Dill was the last stall. Maybe Dill realized it a little bit too late, but they made contact. That spins the 81 machine on pit road, and that is a tough break. That is a tough break for Dan Dill, as he will come down this time and pit here. So here we go. A few drivers coming back down to pit road to top on off. Maybe some guys thinking if they can save, they can make it to the end, because under the caution, we had our halfway point. So halfway down, now less than halfway to go in the race. So it's Delgado, Raposa, and Dan Dill, all three of them coming back down another time on pit road. Interesting call here. We've seen a lot of strategy here tonight, folks, and it is continuing that trend here, as here we go. On the front row, it's going to be Cody Meadows and the 3 machine leading the field to green to his outside to make up the other car on the front row. It is the 42 of Dustin Coggin. So it's going to be a Meadows Coggin front row restart here for the second restart of the night. Yeah, if this next caution flag is not as eventful under the caution here, we'll maybe try and chat with a driver. But here we go. iRacing pace car heading back out, and Cody Meadows on the loud pedal. Another great start from our whoever leads the field into that zone, because Meadows checked on out. Side-by-side battle for second, though, as Coggin tries to hold off Brandon Guerin. And how about this? Brandon Guerin up into second here tonight. So further on back here, folks, a lot of battling, a lot going on here, as drivers try and figure out where they want to run. We'll keep an eye on the battles here for a moment, but I think with the cars bunched up, especially here at Vegas, we got to do a little turn 3, turn it up 3 wide for a second there through 1 and 2. As man, oh man, these guys using up their stuff now. 3 wide into 3 here. It seems like Brandon Guerin backing off the pace just a little bit in the 1 car, maybe starting to do a little fuel saving. Definitely a lot of strategy going on here tonight. As how about this, folks? This guy led the field to green, led the first 16 laps, then pounded the wall, had to go through the grass, but he is back up to the front. Here comes Jason Wiley putting pressure on Meadows. Here comes Dustin Coggins with a great run up top. Wow, Coggin with a power move, and he will go out to the front of the field, as it is a jumbled mess behind the 42. Cars under a blanket here, and some intense racing as we see 3 wide here off turn number 2. Rob Lowe gonna split the middle between the 13 and the 3, and looks like Rob Lowe, man on a mission. He is using up his tires here. So it seems like things are calming down just a little bit here. So you know what? I'll say let the cars do the talking here. Let's do a little turn 3, turn it up, folks. So we come back here, folks, to kick off lap number 90 of 160. So at this point, it is 70 laps to go here for these drivers. And right now, Dustin Coggins still out in front. Christian Delgado has got that second position here. Jason Wiley currently trying to hold off Rob Lowe for P number 3. And just behind them, battles still raging on here. Saw all sorts of good ones, especially in this group here. Looks like Frank Zingen here able to hang on to 6th, at least at the moment. Cody Meadows led this field to the green flag, has kept an eye on his pace here. I have a feeling this 3 car, he currently sits 5th. I have a feeling he'll be driving to the front if we get a long run here. I think with the amount of laps left here tonight, unless you're really saving, maybe we see the 81 machine of Holmes doing that exact thing, but I think it'll be hard pressed to try and make it 80 laps here tonight. It's going to be very close. Maybe let's try and ride on board with Stephen Holmes, see if he's trying to use a little clutch or maybe shun this race car off here. Definitely not into the throttle super late, nor into it early, so maybe he's keeping that eye on the amount of fuel left in this race car, but it definitely seems like Holmes trying to work on something here to the back. Brandon Guerin here starting to put some pressure on Frank Zingen for that 6th position. As right now, right in the toe of the 62 machine, but that allowed him to get a nice run down the backstretch. Not quite close enough to do any sort of moves with that, but Guerin has to be careful because Branningham just closed right up to the back bumper of that number 1 machine. As out in front, though, Dustin Coggin, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack the last couple laps by. So Coggin trying to stretch out his race lead to maybe a 2.5 seconds. Further on back here, though, we see that battle for 7th here as Branningham to the inside of Brandon Guerin. right in front of them. 3 wide for a second here as Cody Meadows, Rob Lowell, and Jason Wiley duke it out for third. Looks like Rob Lowell able to hang on to third here at the moment. Was able to get around Jason Wiley, but now Cody Meadows putting that pressure on the 21. We saw Meadows take it easy to start this run. I think Meadows starting to turn it on up just a little bit as he gets to the inside of the 21 machine. Should be able to make this pass early because from my understanding and my notes here, I don't think Rob Lowell took tires there on lap 80. Maybe going to use one more set and maybe try and have a set of tires for the end in case we get a crazy green-white checkered. I mean, you wouldn't be wrong to think that because we had one last week at Richmond. So Cody Meadows here back into a podium spot. He is currently running in third. Further on back here, these guys still running in a line. Justin Branham was able to get around both the 1 and the 62. So Branham just outside of the top 5. As now Guerin able to get to P number 7, getting around the 62 machine. Up in front, not sure what happened, but Cody Meadows got repassed by the 21 machine, so Meadows might be having to use those tires a little bit more than what he would like here, as he's still battling with the 21. We see a pit stop here. Dan Dill down on pit road. Looks like Dan Dill, maybe missed his box. We saw him have to reverse, not sure. Maybe having a little bit of connection issues as well as we saw him come in and out, but Dan Dill down on pit road with 60 to go, so maybe Dill realizes, hey, we can't make it to the end. I want to be the first car to come on pit road. And if that's the case, he will definitely be that because about maybe a 3/4 of a second to a second of tire fall off here so far tonight. So at least in this run since it last pitted, so definitely will have a little bit of tire advantage here, but Dan Dill goes 2 laps down, so he'll be able to get one of his laps back here pretty easy, but gonna be really interesting to see how it shakes on out from here. Oh, it's Cody Meadows once again, big time moment there off turn number 4. Once again, gonna hang on to that race car here, but it seems like these tires here once again starting to go away. Once again, about 20 laps into a run, we saw cars starting to plow the wall off turn number 4 as well as starting to get loose. Looks like that is the case again as here we go, Christian Delgado out to the race lead once again. The 31 machine back to the point. So Delgado now leads here on lap, I should say the completion of 102, the start of 103 here. Last time by though, Coggin not in the pace. Of course, a pass never helps. We'll have to see this time by, see what Coggin is running for a lap, but definitely off the pace of Delgado. As you can see, Delgado here from the roof of the 42 start to drive away in about a second advantage by the time they get probably just off turn number 2. Ooh, maybe even on entry of turn number 1. Yeah, last time by, Christian Delgado 31.41, Dustin Coggin a 31.65. Rob Lowell has been able to hold Cody Meadows back behind him, at least at the moment. Back here, we see Brandon Guerin up into the top 5 here once again. Guerin gets around Wiley for 5th. Right behind him, here comes Johnny Barker. Barker starting to turn up the wick in the 6th. He was able to get around Caton, now gets around Branham. Maybe not quite fully gets around him, but Barker working on that pass for 8th here. And we saw this 6 car really take it easy from that restart. And he is turning it up big time from here. So Cody Meadows here once again completes a pass on the 21. So we'll see if this time if Meadows can start to check on out. Dan Dill gets around our race leader of Delgado. So that puts Dan Dill into the lucky dog spot here at the moment. And as cars continue to spread on out, let's take a look at the track map on the right side of our screen here. And an interesting call. Stephen Holmes about half a track behind our race leader, so not sure if he's having an issue or just playing the long strategy here and trying to save it to the end. It would be incredible to see that 90 car make it to the end, and I know Holmes would definitely be fired up to pick up his first win of the season. Here in 6, we see Zingen now up into P number 6 here as Wiley. Big time moment through 3 and 4. Will continue down the backstretch. Big time hit as, oh man, Johnny Barker having nowhere to go. He will take his car. That was a big hit there for the number 6. As Wiley, we saw that live there, have a moment through 3 and 4. And then that car whipped around to the right. And yeah, both those guys probably going to have to use a quick repair. Hopefully they both have one left, but that puts a shakeup into the rest of this race here. We'll probably see most everyone come down pit road for the final time of the night, at least fuel-wise. The question is, do you take those tires here? As we take a look here once again, looking at the 13 of Wiley, gets on the apron. That car unloads, shoots him straight right. And yeah, big time hit for Johnny Barker, having nowhere to go. And he will smack the right side of the 13 machine. Let's try and see full speed if we can, riding on board with Johnny Barker. Just gets in the wall, and that car comes up across the track here very quickly. Johnny Barker with some heavy damage here. As here we go, we have cars here heading down to pit road. Looks like Christian Delgado leading the field down to pit road here. And should have some time to take some tires. Remember folks, only 3 sets of tires over the wall here tonight. So for probably a lot of drivers, going to be the final set of tires here for this race, as I think we see everyone taking 4 tires here. Brandon Guerin, first car off pit road here. And actually, excuse me, Rob Lowell, first car off pit road in a very, very quick stop. Only 37 seconds, so definitely did not do the same strategy as most other people. Maybe only right sides trying to get that track position. As Rob Lowell, first car off pit road. Then it's Brandon Guerin, Christian Delgado, Cody Meadows, and Dustin Coggin rounding out the top 5 here. As, we hear the call from the 21 machine here. I got word from the crew chief. Rob Lowell that time by took 2 tires, but only took left sides. He wants to give himself a chance at some right side tires in case they get a late race yellow. So the 21 machine has a set of right sides here to go. The question is, do we get that caution, as so far only 111 laps kind of completed and only 3 cautions, so should be interesting. Looks like Rob Lowell gonna choose the high side here, so man, oh man, it's gonna be Lowell, Guerin on the front row. All right, so here we go. The field re-racked, restacked, and get ready for restart number 3 of the night. The iRacing pace car here will make the hard left-hand turn down pit road. Now Rob Wolf, first time tonight we see the leader select the outside lane. What kind of restart will the 21 get? Remember, only 2 tires on him and left sides at that. Here we go. We go back to green flag racing here. Looks like a good start for the 21. How will it shake out here through turns 1 and 2? Probably more importantly 3 and 4 as we see Cody Meadows quickly on the loud pedal here. He will get to the inside of the 21 machine, and here we go. Cody Meadows out in front of the field here tonight. Cody Meadows will lead at the conclusion of lap 112 here. Christian Delgado, though, quickly to the back bumper of the 3 machine. A lot of drivers probably used up their last set of tires there, so they have to be really careful, really mindful of that, because if that's the case, they at least have to go, the next 45 laps on these tires, whether we get cautions or not. Delgado up in his second. Starting to put pressure on our race leader, Rob Wool, of course, with that alternate strategy. Just going to let these guys go on by, burn up their stuff. Dustin Coggin up to second. Jeff Pogo on the rebound here. Under that second caution was the way round car back on the lead lap. Now Pogo back into the top 5 here. He sits 4th. Man, oh man, we've seen a lot of shakeups here tonight at Las Vegas. A lot of comers, a lot of goers. And it's still not over, still 45 laps left. And look at this, folks. Top 4 under a blanket. Jeff Pogo will look to the inside of the 42 machine. Man, oh man. If you guys been tuning in all race, appreciate you guys for doing so. We're in for a great race to the finish. I tell you what, folks, a lot of stuff making its way into the race here tonight. As Meadows continues to hold off Delgado, but Delgado's so strong here. He's gonna definitely race this 97 here really hard here. And just behind them, we see the likes Dan Dill, Johnny Barker, Stephen Holmes, Frank Zingen, all in this group. Top 8, all in a pack here. Everyone knows it's go time from here. Pogo gets a great run down the turns 1 and 2 and the backstretch. And Jeff Pogo out to the race lead. Pogo's going to lead the first lap of the night here and pick up at least a bonus point. Here we go, folks. Here comes now Johnny Barker up top. These guys are searching. They're trying to find speed. They're trying to turn it up to the end of this race here. And I'm amazed. There's still a lot of racing left to go. Still over 40 laps. So these guys still have to be mindful of that. But here we go. Johnny Barker now going to try and use that same move Jeff Pogo used to get the race lead. Johnny Barker works the outside of Pogo. Pogo leads that time at the stripe here. But through 1 and 2, I want to say start to give the advantage to the top side here. As Barker going to have the momentum. Going to have the head of steam. Pogo's going to side draft the 6, get right to that left rear quarter panel. Barker not quite able to complete the pass, as the advantage definitely down to this inside lane through 3 and 4. And once again, Barker not going to be able to lead at the stripe and pick up that bonus point. So with these two racing hard for the lead, they have checked out from the cars behind them, but how will their tires be feeling by the end of this one? Pogo will go up top here. Gonna try the crossover for Barker. Here we go, drag race to the stripe. It's going to be very close, but oh, I think Pogo just got it once again at the stripe here. Great battle for the race lead here. And I tell you what, a lot on the line between these two. I think both of them used a fast repair. Cannot afford to take each other out here because it's first and second in points right here. That time, though, through 3 and 4, Johnny Barker gets clear. Johnny Barker will pick up his first lap lead of the night in the closing stages of the High Roller 225. With that great battle for the race lead here, Delgado continues to hold on to third, but here comes Stephen Holmes. Dustin Coggin once again on the move here. One car big time sideways. That is Dan Dill. Dill will hang on to that race car. Won't go through the grass either. Loses a little bit of time, but could have been a lot worse, as we've seen many times here tonight. But 2x2 battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth here. Stephen Holmes will drive up into third here so far. Coggin able to complete the pass on Meadows. Now sets his sights on Delgado. Looks like Jason Wiley done for the night in the 13 machine. So a tough break for Wiley there, as he is the first and so far only retirement of the night. Everyone's still running their pace here. Up in front, though, Jeff Pogo has not let Johnny Barker leave his sights here. Has stayed with about 1 to maybe 3 car lengths at the most. So Pogo definitely not letting the 6 drive away from him. As Barker goes high 1 and 2, he gets a little bit loose. This opens up the door for Jeff Pogo. Once again, battle for the race lead here. Now Jeff Pogo tries to get that spot back. Looks like he will with the preferred line through 3 and 4. He will complete the pass, but here comes the crossover. Johnny Barker with the momentum. How will this turn out? They touch going into turn number 1. And a yellow flag on the Speedway. Oh man, some great racing for the lead there between Barker and Pogo. And we see the 81 machine getting that car righted. And it looks like Dan Dill may have brought out that 4th yellow. We'll try and see what happened. As Dill, oh yeah, big time sideways, big time moment there off turn number 4. Able to lock it down. Luckily, everyone gonna miss the 81 machine. As wow. This will be interesting. We know for sure the 21 machine of Rob Lowell at least has right sides on. We'll definitely bolt those on and see what he can do from here. But what about the rest of the field here? Man, oh man. So here will be the moment of truth. What does everyone have left in store? Do they have another set of tires? What will be the strategy here? As it looks like Barker gonna stay on out. Pogo dives on in. Same with Holmes. So does Jeff Pogo have another set of tires? Rob Lowell and Justin Brannahan both down. So we'll try and see if we can catch a camera on pit road here, see what kind of strategy these guys have, see what they have left. As here's a good camera off of turn number 1 here. Pogo at least has right side, same with Holmes. Right side's going on up, and it looks like left sides for both Pogo and Holmes. We see only the right sides for Rob Lowell. Actually, yeah, he gets left sides as well. Wow. So here we go. It seems like all cars that came down that time taking 4 tires. So that switches up the strategy. Looks like top 7 gonna stay on out. Do not have any more tires, or maybe at the slight chance they do, maybe they're banking on another caution. But man, oh man, we got to keep an eye on Jeff Pogo. We'll be restarting the best of the car with tires, but we'll be restarting deep in the field all the way back in 8th. Here we go up to the front here. I believe Johnny Barker should get the choose here this time by. And when we go green, it's going to be a 30-lap shootout. Lights go out, and looks like Johnny Barker chooses the outside here on our 4th restart of the night. Now move Christian Delgado inside of the front row for restart number 4. So here we go. It's going to be a Barker Delgado front row restart. And these guys, of course, it's got to be like this. These guys both sit 2nd and 3rd in the points here. As we get ready to rock and roll, field re-racked, restacked. Looks like everyone in their right spots. 13 cars still left in the race, and I feel like at this point anyone can win it. So here we go. The iRacing pace car heads down on pit road. Johnny Barker leads the field into the restart zone. He's on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing once again at Las Vegas. Looks like the 1 car of Brandon Guerin did not get too good of a start there. That will check up most everyone with the fresh tires further on back. Man, though, Cody Meadows, a great restart, and he'll try and go after the race lead here. Meadows down low, Barker up top, further on back. Cars on new tires, starting to make things work. Side by side at the stripe, advantage Cody Meadows. He's able to lead that time by. But here comes Johnny Barker rocking and rolling up top of 1 and 2. Barker will get clear. Meadows quickly back into the draft of the number 6 machine. Furthest car up with tires is the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Just outside of the top 5 here. Still knows he's got a lot of laps left, so doesn't have to be too crazy with any sort of moves, but he knows he has time to try and get through this top 5, but he does have to try and keep this 21 machine and the 90 behind him, because both those cars on fresh rubber as well. Pogo gets it around Zing, and same with Rob Lowell. Lowell right on the back bumper of the 97 machine. Oh, Rob will smack the wall there off turn number 4. Will give that car a little bit of damage, but does have the tire advantage. The question is, how well does Pogo get through the field? Because out in front, Christian Delgado takes over the point. Delgado here out in front, but here we go. Where will cars go? As down low, it's Delgado, Meadows, Coggin up top. Now Barker, Pogo, and Rob Lowell. Pogo says enough time waiting. He'll stick it 3 wide. Barker gets loose, able to just tap it off the wall. Could have been very bad. Once again, 3 wide. Close racing as Coggin and Meadows get together. And we get another caution just as we get 25 to go here at the stripe. Oh man, oh man. Looks like the 42 machine of Eli Raposa here with the 5th caution, and that is the case. Raposa, some pretty significant front end damage for him. Left front definitely not pointing in the right direction here, so gonna try and see what happened to Raposa here. Oh, it looks like contact with Dan Dill sends a 46 hard into the inside wall there, and we'll take a look at maybe things slowed on down, but Raposa up top, Dan Dill down low. Looks like Raposa doesn't move too much. Maybe Dan Dill just trying to get a little bit too much of that side draft. Turns the 46, and a tough break for Raposa, who's down on pit road. Hopefully he has a fast repair for that 46. We'll find out. Yes, he does. As we see that car get up to 100%. So here we go. What more do these cars have for tires? Because if you got anything left, I mean, I think you got to use it now. I think it's going to be hard-pressed to get another caution. So we see Rob Lowell down on pit road. Same with Brandon Guerin, Dan Dill. Right side's going up on all 3 of those cars. Guerin and Dill taking left sides. Rob Lowell just filling that car up with fuel, so as Rob Lowell's still on pit road. Oh, you know what? He's probably getting some of that damage repaired on the 21 machine. Because, yeah, he definitely did make pretty significant contact with that outside wall. So he will get rolling here as the rest of the field will get the 1 to go here. And now it goes from about a 30-lap shootout. It's going to be like a 23-lap shootout from this point on. Delgado's going to choose the inside lane, so that puts Jeff Pogo in the 97 on about 20-lap fresher tires on the front row. So, wow. Delgado last pitted 109. Jeff Pogo 128. Dustin Coggin and Cody Meadows 109. Johnny Barker 109. Then we have the group of the second freshest tires. Stephen Holmes 128. Caden Anzingen 109. Then Brandenham 128. And then we head back to our freshest tires. Brandon Guerin 136. Dan Dill 136. And I think Eli Raposa just got damage fixed. So sadly Raposa doesn't have fresh tires, but at least has a clean race car once again. So here we go. It's going to be a Delgado Pogo front row restart. We wait for the iRacing pace car here to head down pit road. And here we go. Delgado will have the determining factor when he can fire off in the box. We'll go late. Man, Cody Meadows on the money on the restart behind. Delgado, Meadows both with a great start. They are 1-2 here. Pogo knows he's got time. He can take his time here. Currently right now to the outside of Johnny Barker for third. Pogo gonna drive it in there deep, carry a great momentum through 3 and 4. Dan Dill in the wall further on back. Pogo just gotta go where the car in front of him does not. Meadows gonna park her right on the nose of Pogo. Pogo with a perfect crossover. I don't think you could have put a piece of paper between the bumpers of those two cars. And I believe Meadows' teammates with... Oh, they make contact. Hard in the wall goes Cody Meadows. Just when I was going to say, I believe Meadows... I think Meadows and Delgado were teammates there. So, you know, Meadows wasn't going to make that pass easy. But Pogo drifts up the track a little bit. Gets into the door of Cody Meadows. And Meadows... gets sideways, saves that race car, but smacks the wall hard. And man, tip of the cap to Cody Meadows to 1, save the race car, 2, keep it out of the field, and then of course the rest of the field not being involved in that. That could have been huge. So here we go. We try and see who can hang on to what. Caden currently trying to hang on to a top 5 finish here by the end of this one. Has a very fast Stephen Holmes right behind him. And now Dan Dill with those fresh tires. He's making his way through the field. Barker will kiss the wall there off turn number 4. This time at the stripe. It is 18 laps to go. Not quite 14 laps to go, but we'll get there here very soon. Last time by though, Rob Lowell, fastest car anytime tonight. This 21 machine with only right side tires, making this thing work. He is pushing this car to the limit. Johnny Barker just trying to hang on to this race car. Oh, we see. Oh no, Rob Lowell involved. Dan Dill spinning through the grass. And we see the 81 once again come to the stop, involved in the last 2 cautions. Rob Lowell with heavy damage to the 21 machine. Man, oh man, it seemed like hard racing late. And it looks like it's going to be now a 15-lap shootout. Well, less than a 15-lap shootout here once we get going. So here we go. We see 3 wide race in action. Kind of just gone wrong there. We'll try and maybe get a better camera view here and slow things on down, but everyone trying to keep an eye on Johnny Barker, who was right against the fence. Caton kind of in that middle groove. Dan Dill maybe seeing those cars, trying to keep that down, and Rob Lowe just trying to get to the inside. And yeah, I mean, everyone in their right lane just almost 4 wide race and kind of gone wrong here, as it looks like Branham just gets a piece of it. But man, awesome reaction time from the 58 machine, as that could have been a lot worse for him. As we see Rob Lowell here heading into the box, this will be the question: does he have a fast repair? And it looks like no for the 21 machine. So his night probably going to be over. That right front off that race car. So that is a tough break, because as I tab on over to the points here, Rob Lowell sits 14th in points, about 15-point advantage over Stephen Holmes. And if we look at the cars in track here, that 90 machine of Stephen Holmes currently sits in 3rd. So that 4th place in points, anyone's. Oh man, our race leader, Christian Delgado, pulls it off, shuts her down. I think maybe he had some sort of conflict with the time, or yeah, not sure what other things that Delgado had to do, but with the race running as long as it is, he's not able to stick around, and that is a heartbreak. He goes from our race leader and out of the race, done for the night. Wow. You hate to see it, man. As with that shakeup here, Jeff Pogo takes over the point here tonight. So now it'll be Pogo, Holmes, teammates on the front row. It looks like here now with our sixth caution, looks like Rob Lowe going to be most likely done for the night. And Christian Delgado not able to stick around. Yeah, he's gone out of everywhere. You hate to see that. Oh. So here we go. Going to be a 14-lap shootout to the end. Pogo, Holmes on the front row. Pogo away with a great start on the restart. Him and Holmes able to get away by themselves, at least for the moment. But here we go, the car we got to keep an eye on. Brandon Guerin up to fourth, maybe third on the best tires of anyone in the race so far. Can Brandon Guerin steal one away here late in the race? Stephen Holmes to the outside of his teammate, side-by-side battle. Here is Stephen Holmes. Holmes, of course, looking for his first win of the season. What a time to get the job done it would be tonight for the 90. Side-by-side battle, drag race down the backstretch. Give the advantage up into the number to Stephen Holmes. He is figuring out something up top. The question is, we've seen these tires fall off 20 laps in. Can he make it to the end without tearing up those tires underneath the 90? Holmes going to get away here, but now battle for second. How hard does Pogo hold off Guerin? He knows his teammates out in front of him now. Guerin with the tire advantage here. He gets to the back bumper of the 97, just going to try and find some clean track. Go where Jeff Pogo is not. Further on back, almost three wide racing there as Dan Dill trying to cut up between, I believe, Branham and Coggin side by side in front of him. Guerin and Pogo both to the middle lane through 1 and 2 here. Still side-by-side battle here between now Coggin slipping on back just a little bit. Dan Dill able to get around. Here comes Justin Branham as well. Oh, big-time wall hit for Coggin. Now out Branham to the inside. I think Branham even got a piece of it last time by, though. Best time by anyone of the night. Just set by the one car of Brandon Guerin. Guerin is turning up the wick. He saw 10 laps to go. He knows it's go time. Able to get clear of Pogo. Can Branham pick up win number 2 of the season? Can Stephen Holmes pick up his first checkered flag of the season? Single digits to go. Here we go. The race is on. Further on back here, almost 3 wide there off turn number 2. As Justin Branham here working around Johnny Barker. Barker couldn't quite play the strategy just right for the number 6, so he is going to have a tough break. Here we go. Battle for 4th here. Dan Dill up into the top 5. And maybe trying to get some more, trying to work over the 3 car of Cody Meadows. Further on back here, we see Raposa getting around Johnny Barker, at least trying to here. So Raposa should get himself, all things said and done, a top 10 finish, even though with some late contact with another driver. All eyes now going to the front of this field as things starting to shake on out here. Last time by, Brandon Guerin about a tenth quicker than our race leader. And if he can do that for the next 7 laps, he should get to the race lead, as Guerin only now a quarter second back. Side-by-side battle now for Dan Dill, looking to complete the pass here through 1 and 2. Will be able to get the job done. So Dan Dill up into 4th, started dead last here tonight. Cody Meadows should be able to hang on to a top 5 here by the end of this one, but this time by, from the flagman, we see an open palm. It is 5 laps to go. And Brandon Guerin right there, he gets to the inside of Stephen Holmes. Side-by-side battle for the race lead here. Holmes can defend on the top side of 1 and 2. Guerin's going to try and stay to the inside by the time they get to 3. Looks like won't be able to do it. Holmes will drive down to the bottom. Guerin, though, is going to have another good run here off turn number 4. Brandon Guerin trying to get it a little bit open and maybe had to lift just a little, as I think Stephen Holmes got a little bit loose there trying to put the power down, and they make just a little bit of contact. All fair, all things considered here, as we are now going to get 3 laps to go at the stripe in a dogfight for the win here at Las Vegas. That time, Guerin, a very good 3 and 4. He's going to have it at the stripe. Can Guerin get clear by the time they get to 1? Yes, he can. Brandon Guerin out to the front. Stephen Holmes has one last shot here. This run off turn number 2. Oh, he gets sideways. He saw the car wiggle. I think that should do it here, folks. As man, oh man, this time at the start-finish line, Brandon Guerin, the 1 car in P number 1. We'll see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go. Further deeper in the field here, Dustin Cogg and Eli Raposa duking it out for the 6th finishing order. So the best finisher outside the top 5 here as they continue side-by-side. Great racing here. But man, oh man, what a night it would be. Brandon Guerin will see the white flag. We are racing back to the stripe. He won last at Talladega, only won once so far this season. And here tonight, Brandon Guerin will try and make it 2 wins on the season. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Brandon Guerin's going to see open track. No pressure, mistake-free. Brandon Guerin will pick up checkered flag number 2 of the season with a great run here. Raposa will pick up 6. Brannahan will sneak a 7th, as I think Coggin got the wall there off turn number 4. He slips back to 8th. As wow, Brandon Guerin picks up the checkered flag here tonight with an eventful high strategy race here. 6 cautions to get the job done, but man, oh man, top 3 we'll be talking to Brandon Guerin, Stephen Holmes in a little bit, but here we go on the front stretch. Brandon Guerin gonna burn it on down for the 2nd time this season. And the body armor number 1 machine burning it down here right at the stripe. And it looks like he's gonna, we'll see if he continues to burn it down. Oh yeah, he's still got some more rubber in that thing, but we'll take a victory lap, I believe. So with that, we're gonna go kick it over to our post-race show. First, kick things off with a commercial, get everything sorted in that sort of direction. And we'll be right back on the other side with a quick commercial break. After that, the post-race show. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. As nice Brandon Garrett gonna park it in the pit stall. Celebrate with the crew.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to the post-race show. And first off, we're kicking it off with our third place finisher, that being the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Jeff, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Alrighty, man. A long race here tonight, 160 laps. I think you guys were racing for, 150 minutes. How are we feeling after all that with all the strategy, all the chaos as well?
I feel better now that I rebounded from my little whoopsie off turn 4. But yeah, tonight, pretty much going into this, I thought I was going to have a good shot to win. Then early, I was like, wow, I'm just abusing the right rear tire. And then I had to spin, and I don't know what the deal was. I couldn't get the thing refired. I don't know if iRacing updated something or what the deal was, but I'm sitting on the front stretch trying to get the thing refired so I get going before I get lapped. And it started, I put it in first, it died. And then I had the tow message, and I'm like, oh no. And then I restarted again, and it finally took off. But by that point, I was already a lap down. So that really hurt me. And then I guess Rob and somebody got together, and that pretty much saved my race.
Yeah, that it did, Jeff, because like you said, we saw kind of, early in the run, especially that first run, we saw people, start to get tight off turn number 4, start pounding the wall. Then all of a sudden, we saw really quickly that kind of flip, and then we saw cars getting looser and looser off turn number 4. We saw yours, and then the ultimate, the killer, I think, off turn number 2. And that thing had big time damage. I don't know how it felt in the car, but your right front was definitely cocked to the right.
Oh yeah, steering wheel was off for sure. But like Rob came over the radio and was like, good job, keeping that out of traffic. I'm like, well, I'm either going to go into traffic or I'm just going to hold it up against the wall. So I just held it up against the wall. I don't want to take anybody else out when I do it.
Yeah, and I gave you big props during the broadcast as well as, even now, Jeff. That was an awesome thing to do, keep it against the wall, out of the way, and everyone doing a great job avoiding it. Because, you could have easily, yanked it off the wall and sent it down, and who knows where that car was going, especially with the damage once you got rolling and we saw how bad that car was as well.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Steering wheel was pointed about 2 o'clock, so it wasn't very fun.
Yeah, Jeff. And then, that set you behind the eight ball, like you said, with the toe as well. Had to get the caution. You got it. Got the lucky dog. Couldn't pit. And maybe that kind of almost helped you having an extra set of tires there late with all the strategy coming in later in this race.
Yeah, I thought for sure I was kind of, behind the ball there, but I should have probably went in and topped off on that one because I think I ran like another 13 laps and I had to pit. But I mean, it all worked out in the end. I didn't really know what to do. I planned on practicing this week, but I've been so busy, man. I haven't had time to. So, and this isn't really the time of the season you want to be slacking on that stuff.
Yeah, not it is not the case for sure, Jeff, because we are in crunch time. Penultimate race in the books. Luckily for you, you beat those guys that were hounding you in points. Closing the gap tonight. You get a little bit more of a cushion. How we feeling going into Phoenix?
I don't like Phoenix. That's the one track that I was most concerned about coming into this. So I don't know. It growing the points cushion helps a lot. I really would have liked to have that win that last week. I dominated that race, and then the caution come out literally as I was going into turn 3 to take the white flag. So that one stung a bit. Uh, but tonight makes up for it a little bit.
Yeah,
Tonight, pretty much all I was doing was points racing. I was trying to watch Johnny. Uh, Probably middle of the race, you probably saw me. I just kind of was staying on Johnny's tail. I'm like, well, if I keep him within striking distance, something could happen. And then me and him had that good battle here for a couple laps. I knew we were burning our stuff up doing it too, but it was just too fun not to. Like I told him, that's some of the best racing I've had all season. He kept trying to take my high line away in 1 and 2, and I just kept moving up higher and higher every lap. And then, swapping back and forth and side drafting and stuff. It's fun.
yeah, it looked like you guys were having a ball racing against each other. Some great clean racing between the two. And like you said, a lot of strategy going on with both trying to take each other's lines away, go where a car's not, get some air. It seemed like a bunch of fun. That was awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, Jeff. Well, you're looking pretty good going into Phoenix. I think as long as you start, my man, we should be talking to you there again. But for here tonight, finishing third, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you think who you got to thank here before we send you off to the season finale next week.
Oh, gotta thank my wife who's sitting behind me and probably getting tired of me saying this, but I was racing all day yesterday from like 6 in the morning to Saturday to 2 in the morning this morning. So letting me get away and do stuff, and we've been out of the house all day today, so appreciate her. Teammates, I want to congratulate Steve on a second place finish, best one of the season for him. I wish he'd have got the win, but I told him that Brandon had, fresh set. I'm like, if he gets clear of you, he's gone. And then I knew Dan behind me had a fresh set too. So those were the two we were worried about. But you know, good a good run for Gateway tonight, going 2, 3, 4. So yeah, good night overall.
Yeah, that it is. And of course, a great points night. So, Jeff, you have yourself a great rest of your night, my man. And we'll see you next week at the season finale at Phoenix.
Sounds good, buddy.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, Jeff Pogo. Now we head up to our runner up finisher, also close to that first win. It is the 90 machine of Stephen Holmes. Now, is it Steve or Steven? What do you prefer?
Steve.
Alrighty, Steve, how we feeling here tonight? Came home second, oh so close to that checkered flag though.
Actually, even though it was a second place, it feels great. It's been a long 20 races to get here, but yeah, it feels great. Even second place, I wanted that win so bad. If I'd had like 4 or 5 more fresher lap fresher tires, I might could have stuck it out.
Yeah, I think so. You definitely seem like you had the car to beat, especially in a short run, Steve. It seemed like this 90 car could fire on off, especially as you moved up the track in 1 and 2. What'd you figure out up there, and how'd you find that pace, my man?
Well, I was talking with Brandon and Johnny in the waiting room before I came in here, and I was asking them, I was like, well, I don't know why people wasn't running the higher groove in the first 5 or 6 laps because I guess as you've seen, it had tremendous pace up there. And for the first, like I said, the first 5 or 6 laps, I held it pretty much wide open the whole time. And I made up so much ground. And whenever I finally got the lead the first time, I backed it off a little bit. And then, I fell back some. But yeah, the pace was up at the top side in the first 5, 6, 7 laps. And uh, yeah, I just done a lot of practice, and that's where I found a lot of speed whenever I was doing my practice. And I was like, well, let me see, since nobody else is going up here, let's see what I can do with it, and it worked.
Yeah, that it did, and that practice paying off here tonight. Like we said, can't be upset with this finish because career best finish so far this season, a runner up, gotta be feeling good at that.
Yes, sir. It's a nice way to end the season to finish up front. Like I said, I wish that I would have been able to had that one spot extra there, and I'd be talking to you last instead of second. So, but it's my first podium of the season. It's good for points, and I think that pretty much solidifies uh, a top 10, maybe a top five. I don't know, but yeah, it's been like I said, it's been a long season. A lot of practice time has went into it, and it paid off with the second place. And yeah, I hope to be able to make it one better next week.
Yeah, that would be definitely awesome to see here. Because, yeah, Steven, you mentioned the points here coming into tonight. You were 15 points back from Rob Lowell. He gets caught up in a wreck. He finishes 12th. You finish second. So I think between you two, it's going to be a dogfight for not for fourth in points because I think with this finish, actually Brandon Guerin closes up. So it's going to be a dogfight between you, Guerin, and Lowell at Phoenix.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think that Rob still has one drop week left. I still have one drop week left. So we'll see how that all plays out. Yeah, I had a couple of races there towards the middle part of the season where they wasn't so great. I actually drove the middle part of the season with a broken hand. Whenever me and the guys we went down to Daytona for the Daytona 24 and we missed Darlington. Yeah, I had a little accident and tripped up and broke a bone in my hand, but I got through that and most of my way through. Uh, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting coming down to that last race next week.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be awesome to watch a ton of storylines going in there. And Steve, I like to kind of ask, get some insight by some people and all that fun stuff as well. What kind of got you into racing in general, as well as what got you into iRacing?
Well, I've been a racing fan all my life. I mean, I'm definitely no spring chicken as my teammates. They're Jeff, Eric, and Dan. They'll tell you I'm the oldest one of the bunch. But yeah, I've always been a racing fan. Um, I don't know. I YouTube videos I saw where they had YouTube videos of people doing racing, and I'm like, well, what is this? And I had the NASCAR 2003 season. I had it on my computer. It's an older computer, but I saw where iRacing had came out somewhere. I think it was 2008 whenever it came out, and I said, it looks pretty interesting. I want to give it a shot. And then I think I signed up in 2011, and I ran some road races. Didn't do so hot. Took a few years off. Came back in 2017 and actually won um, my division in the truck series, the open series. I won my division, the championship that year, and then I joined up with Jeff, Eric, and Dan the next year, and I've been with them ever since.
Man, that is awesome to hear. And Steve, you don't have to give me an exact number, but in a ballpark, how many years young are you?
I'm 51 this year.
Okay, you're not that bad. We in a different league that I admin slash broadcast. We have some guys that are pushing 60, and I always find it great that people can jump on here, have some fun, and I like to say, get the thrills of driving a race car as close as you're gonna get without spending thousands and thousands of dollars, right?
Right, but everybody knows that even in the simulation world, it's not really that cheap either. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I've spent I've probably spent well over $8,000 altogether with all the different computers I've had, all the subscriptions to iRacing, the content and wheels and tablets and all this good stuff. Yeah, I've probably spent anywhere between eight to $10,000 and all that since I've been a part of iRacing. But you know, it's better than wasting your money doing something else.
exactly. I always say, it's better than blowing money on stuff that you can't even, let's say, get anything tangible at the end of the day or have fun with. And that's
Exactly.
that's a great segue, Steve, as well to my next point, because when I get a chance to chat with a driver for a first time, I always love to ask people what their sim setup is these days. What do you got for wheels, pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff, because I always find it so fascinating, all the different stuff. Like you said, we can see people spending thousands of dollars just on wheel and pedals.
Yes, I'm actually, most people they run the computer monitors. I'm actually running three just, flat screen TVs, 42-inch flat screen TVs. Fourth one that's right up above me is 32-inch, I believe. That's where I have my standings and Discord and all that. I have a tablet that I use. Um, Moza wheel, Moza R9 base with the stock car wheel. I also use the I don't forgot what it is, but it's a road racing wheel. Uh, Moza. I've got the Moza shifter, uh, H pattern, and um, sequential. I have the Fanatec B3 pedals, and I'm running a old Omega, what it's, Omega GT3, whatever it is. I think it's Omega GT Omega, yeah, GT seat. And like I said, I've had this seat for I don't know, I guess around 15 years now. But um, yeah, that's basically my setup. The iBuyPower PC. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, that's what I'm running right now. But that doesn't count all the other stuff that I bought and I no longer use, the older PCs.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the old gear driven wheels to, I don't know if you jumped to a belt drive as those became popular. And then of course nowadays, like you have the good old direct drives. It seems like those things are the cat's meow.
They're amazing. I started with the Logitech wheel, the 25, and then I went to the 27, and then the 29, and then I went to the Thrustmaster, and all of them I used them up until they flat out burned up. And then my team mentioned the the Moza setup, and I'm like, if I have to buy another wheel, I probably just quit. But no, I'm not ready to quit just yet. I'm having too much fun. Even though, like I said, this is my first podium and I didn't know where to go, what to do, or anything like that, I will admit. Uh, Even though that I've had the not so great finishes, I'm still having fun and I'm enjoying every lap that I run, whether it's up front or at the back. You can't beat it. It's just a lot of fun.
Hey, that's always awesome to hear. And I tell people that's the point of racing, right? To go out there and have fun. People always like to make it too competitive, too into it. It's like, man, at the end of the day, we're all out here to have a good time, have some fun.
Exactly. And I'm having a lot of fun with it, and having the type of run that I had tonight. Uh, I'm not really. These are not my favorite cars to race by no means, but tonight I don't know. I just had one of those drives where it just felt good just about the whole race. There in the middle part, I know it got real a whole lot slicker, I guess you could say, and it was a handful, more than a handful at sometimes. But yeah, whenever you have runs like this, whenever you're not normally running in this position, yeah, it makes it all the more worthwhile.
Oh, that it does, Steve. And once again, big congrats on the second place finish. I'm pumped up for you, my man. So before we let you go
Thank you.
and celebrate this, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you for one final time here and have you give a shout out to maybe some of those all important teammates, maybe some of those sponsors on the car, or maybe some people that might be tuning into the broadcast, maybe live or replay that you want to give a big shout out to as well.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, first of all, thank the league for what they've done, all the races, Rob, all the admins for the league that they put on. Thank you guys for broadcasting each and every week. You do a great job. I enjoy going back watching the races and everything. So thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Everybody watching, we got one more week. Stay tuned. It's going to come down to the wire. Yeah, I'd also like to thank my teammates. You know, Eric, Jeff, Dan. They've been a huge part in where I'm at. So yeah, I want to thank each one of them, and yeah, just everybody tuned in. Just stay tuned. It's going to be fun. Last race of the season.
Yeah, that it will be a lot to race for, including yourself, Steve. So you, my man, have yourself a great rest tonight and go celebrate this runner-up finish.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Alrighty, folks. I tell you what, it was great to talk to Steve there, and I tell you, I think I might need to chat with him some more by the end of this season in the off season, and look forward to seeing him out on track for next season. So here we go. We head down to Victory Lane to talk to the man of the hour. We made you guys wait long enough. We'll be talking with the one car of Brandon
You were doing for
Guerin. Brandon,
Brett.
you got a copy.
Got you, Brett.
Alrighty, my man. How we feeling?
Kind of in shock a little bit, but here we are. Kind of like last week, but one spot better, hey?
Yeah, you got the job done. You're saying you hoping to finish that one spot better, and you did it, my man.
Yeah, kind of the same thing as last week. Got like the break with like cautions and had the freshest tires at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, man, how tough was this strategy to get right? Not only to be disciplined and not take tires when most other people did, but then to have that complete extra set with 25 to go that ultimately let you just drive by cars.
So yeah, almost every caution fell at bad times. Maybe not the first one. We had a decent run there with about 50, 55 laps. But that second one really threw me off when it was after 30. But everybody pitted and took tires, and at that one I was like, I probably should have saved a set there because those weren't too bad. So then later in the race, when we kind of ended up having, I want to say, the one with 50 to go, everybody pitted. Well, no, yeah, we all pitted. Me and Rob kind of were the first ones off without tires, and I told everybody, I said, I'm out of tires. Kind of trying to like throw a little curveball. I don't know how many people actually believed me, but try to throw the curveball, and then the next stop when Pogo and all them guys pitted, it was like, but I didn't think I could beat them heads up, so I was like, I'm gonna bank for one more caution. And eventually we got that lucky other little caution and we had the freshest tires. So a little bit of discipline, but a lot of luck with it too.
Yeah, definitely the right call. And like you said, definitely a tough choice to make there because you would hate to finish a race, especially here at Vegas, and have a set of tires sitting on the wall.
Yep. That first run I noticed like a major drop off around lap 20 to 25. So that's kind of what like I was looking for a gap like when I was going to use my last set of tires compared to everybody else, but it got to the point where there was only about 20 laps left, so I had to just use them.
Yeah, and that was the perfect time if with you having a set to use them because you're able to drive through the field. And how stressful was it to get through the field? You knew no one was going to give you a spot with 20 to go.
A little stressful, but I got a little bit of luck too with the caution that happened after I did get fresh tires, where I jumped up to, I want to say, I don't remember if I restarted third or fifth on the last one, but we got up there and didn't know if I was gonna have enough for Steve or Jeff, because I knew that they had only pitted maybe 5 laps before me. I don't remember how many laps it was, so I was like, this might be difficult, but there was one lap with, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 to go, where I got a really good run on Steve off 4, and I almost ran him over. And I mic'd up and apologized because I had such a good run. But I didn't want to wreck him, and I was like, all right, I got him. Like I got better tires, so I just got to be patient, wait till he slips up a little bit off 4, and my car was really good on the bottom in 1 and 2 that last run, so I knew once I got enough room, I could drive it deep into 1 and set sail from there once I cleared him.
Yeah, and that you did able to win by over a second once you did get clear. And yeah, Brandon, second win of the season, first one coming in Talladega, tonight at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think this is my first 1.5 mile win. I don't know, I've won at Kansas, so we get a little bit of variety. I've won on a little bit of every kind of track, so it feels good to get this kind of good runs at the end of the season. More confidence with like the new sim rig that I got at the beginning of the year, so next year we'll feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, I bet you are with that. And yeah, quite a bit of different wins for you. I see even in a Charlotte win way back in the day for 1.5 miles for you as well.
Oh yeah, forgot all about that. Was my first win ever, Brett. First start I ever had with the 802. Come out and we won.
That's awesome.
That was a major fuel mileage race. I was clutching that whole race.
Wow.
So that one was a little bit of a luck race, but hey, we pulled that one off too. I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some other stuff too. You know, next week we head to Phoenix, and looking at your stats too, you have a win at Phoenix.
Yep. Yep. That was a couple of years ago when it came down to me and Frank, the last race of the year, and we actually ended up in a tie in points, I think. Or no, he beat me by 1 point. But I had won the race, got the pole, did everything I could that night, but come up 1 point short for a championship. But I do like Phoenix a little bit, so another track where hopefully we can have a good momentum finish.
Yeah, because I tell you what, with you winning tonight and Rob wrecking out, that for fourth and points is wide open because it's pretty much going to be you and then Stephen Holmes finishing second. It's going to be you three right on top of each other going into the season finale next week.
We got that top 5 in sight, Brett. We said that after we won Talladega.
Yep, and that you do. You have that thing wide open. It's right there.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little goal to shoot for. But honestly, with some of the luck I've had this year, and like I said, the second half has been really nice. So just it feels good. It feels good to win again.
Yeah, I bet it does. Coming into a stride here late in the season, and I tell you what, a big time points push. I'm definitely super pumped up for tomorrow or next week. I wish it was tomorrow. We got a lot of people racing for a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Alrighty, my man Brandon. Well, I believe this is win number 6 of your career. So before we let you go, continue party down in victory lane. I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether the sponsors on the car, whoever painted that sweet paint scheme once again out here tonight, as well as...
Right, you know that's me.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, teammates and whoever else you need to thank.
Yeah, so I want to thank, obviously, the kids first, Bryson, Brody. It's actually my son's Bryson's birthday on Wednesday. He turns 8, so happy birthday to him. We'll thank the teammates. Only had Jason, Frank, and Dustin there tonight, but always I'll thank Kenny, crew chief Kenny. He was in here, and John. We'll thank the whole admin team. You for putting on the broadcast. I mean, I want to congratulate Jeff and Steve. Great runs also. Yeah, it's real good. And Brett, I'm really excited. Thursday we get to race against each other.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be really cool. I believe, I forget exactly what the league name is. I don't know if you have it close by.
I think it's Apex Sim Racing Association. So yeah, Pogo's league, and we're going to race the Marca cars.
Yeah, it should be definitely fun. I'm definitely excited to give a whirl with some good drivers at some ARCA racing, and it should be a bunch of fun.
Yeah, be fun to get you out of the. We love you in the booth, but it'd be fun to get you on the track with us too.
Oh, for sure. It's always a great time when I get to race against you guys. So big time looking forward to that. So Brandon, you, my man, go celebrate this win. You have yourself a great rest of the night. And I'd love to be talking to you at the end of Phoenix. You know, no pressure,
I hope so too.
but
I hope top 3. We'll shoot for a top 3. That'll be a good run for me there. I mean, the dog leg's tricky there. You know how it is. So we'll see how it ends up.
oh yeah, for sure. Anything can happen there. But first and foremost, go out there and have fun, you know. But don't put too much pressure on yourself and make it not fun. But I hope to talk to you, my man.
Yeah, sounds good. But you're always a great talk to. So you have yourself a good night, Brett.
All right, thank you very much, Brandon. You as well. Go party it on up. We'll be there
Yeah,
once we finish wrapping things up.
We're gonna be chugging down the body armor, folks. Drink the body armor. It's good for you.
As long as we
I
got
think
those
actually
shots
tonight
of
was the
whiskey.
Flash IV. Tonight was the Flash IV.
Oh,
I
there
forgot
you
we
go.
had the Flash IV on car. So drink your liquor tonight, and then tomorrow have a Flash IV. Get you right back up on your feet.
Perfect. Always sounds like a great plan.
Have a good one, Brett.
You too, Brandon. Alrighty, folks. That was our race winner, Brandon Guerin, getting the job done and parking it down in victory lane. So, folks, that will do it for post-race interviews. We're going to go ahead on over, get our race results. That's not the right screen there. Let's try and get the right one going. There it is. So here we go, running through tonight's finishing results for the High Roller 225. Brandon Guerin picks up his second win of the season in the number 1 car. Stephen Holmes, personal best finish in the 90 machine, will finish second. Jeff Pogo, our points leader, able to have a strong finish here tonight, will finish in third. Fourth, going to the guy that started last year tonight, second biggest mover of the night. Actually, Brandon Guerin with the win was the biggest mover of the night. Dan Dill's second biggest mover in the 81 machine, finishing fourth. Rounding out the top 5, Cody Meadows with the rebound there. Smacked the wall hard, but able to get a top 5. So congrats to Cody and the 3 machine. Eli Raposa just finishing outside the top 5. He will finish in 6th in the 46. Justin Branham able to sneak out a 7th place finish in the 58. Dustin Coggins in the 42 will bring it home 8th. 9th going to Johnny Barker in the 6th. And Ariba Caton in the 30 machine. This guy, a top 10 finish here. So big congrats to him as well. Frank Zingen in the 62 will finish 11th. Rob Bull did not finish the race, finishing in 12th. 13th going to Christian Delgado, had to dip out early. Jason Wiley, the first DNF of the night, will finish in 14th. So that will do it here for our finishing orders. And real quick, of course, got to give a big shout out to all the people that make this league happen. And of course, that being the big one, you hear it a lot on the broadcast, the title sponsor, Riptide Radio. You can find out more about Riptide Radio with the first link in the description. That'll take you over to their website. Or you guys can scan the QR code on screen. That'll take you to their Riptide Radio app for some of the best beach and boogie music from North Myrtle Beach in down over there. And I tell you what, playing some great tunes. Also got to give a big shout out to Leaf Guard, BG Graphics, Out of the Woods Crafts, Stone and GStone Motorsports, as well as DTL Custom Graphics. And of course, we'll wrap things on up here. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Turn 3 Racing Network partnered with Premier Setups. You can find a link in the description. Even if you don't want to buy anything, you have a lot of cool stuff to offer, from video editing, photos, paint schemes, as well as, of course, setups. So you can find that link in the description. And yeah, that will do it. Penultimate race in the books next week. You won't want to miss it. Phoenix Raceway. Start time 7:05, and they will do battle for season number 5 for the final time. So you guys won't want to miss it. Next Sunday, same time, same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's going to be awesome. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.